Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. I'm the manager at the Swoodilypoopers, currently sitting fifth in the N-Power Championship. Spots 3 through 6 then go into a playoff, and the winner of that playoff gets to go to the Premier League, and the other 3 teams suffer shame and humiliation. So we'd like to finish in the top 2, but we suck, so we might not. Today we're playing Reading. I like this team, because they value something that I also value. But I like Swindon Town more, so I'm going to try to beat their butts like they were stolen. Or I might have been mixing metaphors there. We have Ginger McShane, he who shall not be named, Dave Matthews Bandulovsky, and that other guy in our defense. Today we are starting a Ginger up top in the form of James Collins, in the hopes that, we can have some Ginger scoring magic. I'm going to talk about motivation today, partly because it's been on my mind, because I feel like the team, the Swoodilypoopers themselves, haven't been where we need them to be in terms of motivation. Although some would say that the problem actually isn't that our team is undermotivated, it's that our team is managed by a crazy person who refuses to believe in statistics or odds or anything other than Gingers and the 2011 FIFA Swoodilypoopers. But those people are ludicrous. It's funny because a lot of you, after I talked about AFC Wimbledon and I talked about the idea of a team belonging to its fans, a lot of you were like, how can you talk about how much you like that, but at the same time manage the Swoodilypoopers in a way that is completely not in keeping with that was not offside. Gingers are never offside. It was a little bit offside. How can you claim to love the way that AFC Wimbledon owns their team? Like the fans own the team, and that in some ways makes it very difficult for them to they can't go and spend like $100 million of mobile phone money on Gareth Bale, but they get to have the knowledge that their team is awesome and run well and run in the spirit of the game and everything. And they were like, that's not what I was trying to do. It's so crazy how you talk about that. I would say that was a mistake, but a Ginger made it, so it wasn't a mistake. It's so crazy how you talk about that, but at the same time, like, you are running this team like a tyrannical, crazed dictator, and to which I say, shut up, it's my team. Okay, so I want to talk about motivation and kind of like discipline. This is when I was 22 and I graduated from college, I had 4 months of unemployment, followed by a lengthy spell as a temporary employee. It was hard. It was really hard to get motivated to do anything. It's hard because it feels, well, I was filling out resumes every day and sending out faxing. This was in the days of faxing, which was an insane thing that we did before scanners. I was filling out resumes every day and sending them out and never getting a call back, because it turns out that just sending out resumes isn't. Oh no, maybe he's offside. It's like 3 on none. Good at reading, bad at finishing. So it turns out that just sending out resumes is a terrible way to get a job, because in fact you have to be like proactive, and you have to always be going to, I don't know, you have to be going to networking events and book signings and meeting people, and that's how you really get jobs, unfortunately, or at least most people. That's how I got a job in the end. Working miserable jobs through temp agencies and everything else. So anyway, it's really, really hard to be motivated when you don't feel like there's much of an audience for what you're doing, or like you don't love what you're doing, or you feel like every action that you take in the world is just a kind of like falling down into a hole of nothingness, and no one is noticing any of the things that you do, so why do anything in the first place? I am very familiar with that feeling, and I have to say it hasn't completely gone away from me, but it has certainly gotten a lot better. But most of the reason that it's gotten better is because I kind of know why I do the stuff that I do now. I do it for my family, and I do it for the people I get to make stuff with, like, you know, from my brother to the people who work in this office, but most importantly, the people I make stuff with, in the sense that sort of all of this, I'm blessed that all of the stuff that I do is a collaboration with the audience for that stuff. So even Swoodilypoopers, I know that you guys hate me right now because I have my particular opinions about how best to run this team, and I'm not willing at the moment, I have to say, I'm tired of the screaming in comments. I'm tired of the screaming in the stadium. But we're still making this together. You know, like this is real because we're making it real. Oh, by the way, speaking of super annoying things, James Collins handed in a transfer request. Now that the transfer season is over, and I just told him he could go. Oh, he's a great poet! Not a great finisher. Wordsworth. Oh, and Meredith sneezed. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Here is the best solution I have. You must force yourself to make things and do things, because on the days when you make and do things, you will feel much better than on the days you don't. If you find it really impossible to make and do things, it's possible that you aren't just suffering from a lack of motivation, but in fact you're suffering from some kind of depression. And in that case, you know, the solution. Oh, it has to be, and it is at last. It's John Green with the robot. Oh, he is almost like a robot in the sense that robots also are extremely reliable. I mean, look at that finishing touch, and then right into the top corner of the net, side netting. That's everything that you could want from a finish, and it's John Green. Other John Green, here's, you know what is a sign of class? Like, other John Green, when he talked to me, he made it pretty clear that he wasn't in love with my current managerial style, and I made it pretty clear to him that he could go, to quote an old Vlogbrothers video, he could go suck on that bone. But our locker room relationship has stayed excellent, and he continues to perform at an extremely high level. And so I appreciate him being a loyal soldier to Swindon Town, even if at the moment he and I aren't seeing eye to eye on everything. So yeah, it's difficult to make yourself do stuff, but it is precise. The reason you must do it is because it is difficult. That is precisely why you must sort of work extra hard to try to accomplish things. You also, I think it's really helpful to acknowledge your accomplishments and congratulate yourself for them, even if no one else will. In fact, especially if no... Oh, Fotheringham! Oh, man. I would eat them on a boat. I would eat them with a goat. Green eggs and Fotheringham. What a fantastic keeper. You know, I haven't heard a peep out of him in all of this. He just goes about his business, trying to stop shots whenever he can. One of the greatest keepers in the history of Swindon Town. Would I like to be starting Fat Lucas? Sure, but he's not in FIFA 13. Uh-oh! Fotheringham! Let's take a look at that, because I'm pretty sure it went off of Fotheringham's hand. It did. It missed the net. And then Fotheringham was like, oh, I bet it can hit the back of me. And it did, and it went in the net. That should have been an own goal. Oh. Meredith, are we ever going to win again, or are we just going to have draws until the end of time? We win in the FA Cup, we win in the Capital One Cup, but we never win in the league. And that is a recipe for disaster. I mean, I might seriously, like, one of my job goals is to make sure that we get to the Premier League. Like earlier this year, that's one of the goals that was given me by the board, and also I know by all of you, that's your expectation as well. And like, what if I could totally get fired. I mean, I hope I don't, but like, I don't even know what to do. Hold on. I'm going to make a substitution. That's what I'm going to do right now. So, yeah, it's when you do things, congratulate yourself for them and understand that they were difficult. Like, that it is difficult to send out resumes, that it is difficult to kind of like keep going in the face of, not having a lot of positive, news or whatever, like coming out. Like, it is difficult. It's difficult to keep going. And if you're doing that, if you are continuing to try and experimenting more and more with ways of making stuff, and I remember during that long unemployment period, I actually wrote a lot, and some of what I wrote was pretty good. I was writing with some friends for a sketch comedy show that we wanted to do that we ended up doing at a couple of colleges, and don't. Yeah, it can be very hard to not make things, but making things is important not just for the possibility that it will turn into a job or whatever, but also because it allows you to sort of remind keep yourself engaged in the world and remind yourself of what you love to do. Oh, Leroy Williamson loves to score! Dang it! Oh, Leroy Williamson not finishing like I'd like him to. So yeah, that's basically my hope is that you will find ways to kind of continue working, but give yourself credit for the fact that it is hard. It's hard for everyone, and particularly these days when a massive percentage of people under the age of 30 are unemployed and having difficulty sort of finding their way into the workforce in their fields, and give yourself a little credit. Be as forgiving of yourself as you can, because that is not easy. It will happen. You will find work that interests you. That period of life in your well, I quite enjoyed college, but man, the few years after are really hard. Hey, guess what the result was? It was a flip and draw. Why are we congratulating? Well, I mean, no one to congratulate Green Eggs and Fotheringham. He's a great man with a great goatee, but some of you are like, John, why aren't you doubting your managerial strategy? Shut up! Best wishes.